Okay, we're on live, I think. I
Hello.
always have to double check. Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Hello, people. Hello to the world. 8 o'clock at night here and 12 o'clock over there in New Zealand. Okay, Blake,
Hey, man.
how's it going?
Great.
Great.
How are you?
I'm all right, mate. It's getting tough.
Just all right.
You're
Just
just
all
all
right.
right.
It's Sunday. You got the Monday blues, buddy.
Yeah, Sunday, bloody
Sunday blues. Yeah.
night. Yeah, and today, this is going to be a Kendo and Fun. We're going to talk about that. But before we go on, I would like to tell you guys about this new Facebook page called Kendo Clinic and YouTube channel, also Kendo Clinic. Myself and Blake will be doing something new for you guys. So this is a part of it. And please go and subscribe to Kendo Clinic face page and YouTube channel. And this, at the moment, we are broadcasting to Kindle Guide channels on Facebook pages as well, but it will be only broadcast on Facebook page and YouTube channel. All right, so we have some audience. Hello, yes it. Hello, Yeset. As from
Hello.
YouTube, I think. Hello. And this is at SJMG. Hello.
Sir Blake. Excellent.
Sir Blake.
Thank you.
Isn't there yet quite?
I appreciate that, though. Blake is fine. And hello to you. Hello to you.
All right, great. So people don't forget. Yes, I'm happy to be here. Happy to have you here.
To have you. All right.
Yeah. So people don't forget about subscribe to Facebook Kindle Clinic and YouTube channel Kindle Clinic. All right. And once we reach 100 subscribers at YouTube channel Kindle Clinic, we can change the name and YouTube URL. So youtube.com Kindle Clinic. So that would be sweet, not the jumble.
We want to get rid of the blah, blah, blah bit in the middle, but yeah,
that's so annoying. Well, okay, anyway, so Blake, we are going to talk about, people, don't forget to hit the like button, love button. Recently, you can love the video,
Can you really?
So please do so.
I didn't notice that. Excellent.
I think so. Yeah, love is good. All right, so Kendo and Fun. Now, I thought that was a good question because I never had fun during Keiko. So, as a kid, anyway. But if I think about it now, I hated it. I don't know about you, Blake. When you were a kid, did you hate training? I bet you did.
Well, it's probably, where have you gone, Hiro? It's probably important to point out to the viewers that you actually were my Kendo teacher when I was a kid. In addition to my older brother, and I think if I remember correctly, you guys went out of your way to make it unfun, not enjoyable for me. Would that be fair? What was your experience, Hiro? Because you trained in a pretty traditional dojo. You had some pretty traditional sensei.
Yeah.
It was a big thing. There was lots of kids when you were around. There was a lot of kids training.
Yeah, we had, I don't know, more for sure more than 100 people, maybe 150 at that time back in those days. So yeah, well, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, kids, lower graders from 4 to 5, and like age-wise, and bigger kids 5 to 6, and 6 to 8 we have adults training, but those older kids will we stayed to practice with adult senses.
Yeah.
And yeah, the kids training was a lot of kirikaishi. Kirikaishi, that's a kirikaishi, uchikomi, that's all. And Wednesday is dedicated to, what do you call it? Jigeko. So yeah, that's all. And this, you know this, right?
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was good fun for only one. Well, the people watching, I guess. I have to say there was a little bit of smoke coming out of your ears when you were trying to remember your childhood, mate. Are you okay? Is it?
I'm traumatized, mate.
I remember training at the Shubukan, and I have a similar recollection of that. There was lots of people on the floor. It's a beautiful old dojo. Well, it still is, but just so many people around. I wonder, though. I can't. Well, I'll ask you the question. You might know what it's like now at the Shubukan. Do they have 150 kids on the floor?
No. Very few. I would say 30 max. Yeah,
Wow.
30 kids, and totally different training method now.
What do they do now? What do they do?
It's more like, I don't want to distinguish dojo. We call it machi dojo, right? Machi dojo, like town dojo, very
Community
private,
dojo, right?
yeah, community dojo, versus Kendo club, school club. School club, get together, we do lots of waza training, oikomi, those kind of physical, more technical stuff. It has become like that. I think it's more oikomi. I've never seen oikomi, but they use the big suburi lengthwise, right?
So they got less people, so they've got more space.
More space, and so that's good. And a lot of waza training actually. I'm sure they do kakari geiko and uchikomi stuff, but because of the small, very group is small, so if you do 1 hour of uchikomi or kirikaishi, they're going to quit really quickly, I guess.
Right. Well, this is the point, right? If it's not fun, what's the risk, right? What's the risk that we have as machi dojo or sensei or senpai? Why do you think it's changed in Japan? If that we're only talking about one machi dojo, one community club or community dojo. Why do you think it's changed?
One, the number of kids decreased. Not many kids anymore. That's number one. So we have to treat kids well, otherwise we will have no kids, right? That's number one, I think. Kids number decreased, and soccer, baseball are big in Japan, right? So they want to do that. So we had the baseball, soccer, basketball. Yes, we had that when I was a kid, but our generation, we had a lot of kids. So a lot of kids also did kendo, and a lot of other kids did baseball and all other stuff. So the absolute number has changed. That's
a societal problem for Japan, right? The Shoshika Mondai, the decreasing birth rate, aging population.
Right. Yeah. So that is one. That's I think main reason, and then also I'm sure sports science kicked in too. We used to we were not allowed to drink any water during training. So no water at all. And you couldn't take men off. That no matter what until the end, you couldn't take men off, right?
Yeah.
So that was normal.
Mm.
But they don't say that anymore. They have to take men off it and drink water, right? That's I think that's a must now. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to think so. I'd like to think that it was an opportunity for people to drink water during hot training.
Oh, mate. Man, I don't know why we weren't allowed to drink.
Dude, I witnessed that moment, that change yeah, I did. I was at a gashuku. I think it was a Natsu gashuku, so a summer camp, when I was training at Osaka Taiku Daigaku, right, the Osaka University of Health and Sports Sciences. For some reason, that's easier to say in Japanese. But we went to this gashuku.
Yeah.
And we all sat down on the floor. So there's about 100, or maybe 100 people, university students sitting on the floor, and we're listening to the sensei talk about what's going to happen over the next 4 or 5 days of the gashuku. And he sat down and he started to tell us, right, we're going to start off in the morning. We're going to do this for 2 hours. Then we're going to break, and we're going to have a drink of water. We're going to have some food. Then we're going to get back into it. We're going to do this. Da, 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 da. He told us the whole menu. And when we were going to have water breaks and the whole lot, and we were all kind of looking at each other like, what's going on? Why is Sensei telling us what to expect? This is crazy. But he was a smart guy. He was a really, really smart guy. He didn't want his kendo club to be closed,
right?
Because someone passed out or became very sick or died from heat stroke. And he noticed that this wasn't typical in kendo, but it absolutely is necessary to change thinking. And so he told us when to expect our water breaks, which, for another athlete in a different sport, it's like, well, why can't you just drink water? But and I did a little bit of research on that, man. My understanding is that there was a paper written many years ago in the early 1900s by a medical practitioner, a Japanese medical practitioner, suggested that drinking water, I'm not sure if he used the word weak, but it interrupts people's ability to get stronger and build tenacity and strength and what have you. One paper, one article, and then all of a sudden it became a defining thing about martial arts, or at least kendo, Japanese sports, I guess, more broadly, but particularly in kendo, right, to not drink water. So thank goodness that's not a thing anymore, right? Because it's not fun.
No, but it was like we were taught like that, and we thought that was the way, that was the only way. So we strictly do that, and we could handle it. It doesn't mean I'm saying it's good.
No.
I'm not saying it's good,
Yeah.
but we did. We could handle it, and we didn't know that was bad to our body, right? And probably, I'm not saying this is why, because I got hurt all the time,
right?
But I think when let's say shochu geiko. Shochu geiko is training during the super hot day in Japan, hottest days in Japan.
Yeah.
From 6, get up 6, train all day, bloody. Why would you do that kind of thing? But we do, right?
Yeah.
Dehydrated, like 1 week, I think. I don't know if I can say this. The color of your pee-pee, man.
Yeah.
It's awful. Someone told me, my sensei used to told me that, it's the color of blood. And now it was.
Man, it's crazy. You got to think, like, how could that be healthy? I don't know. Hey, we're talking about why kendo should kendo be fun, right? So the post that you made on Facebook was around should kendo be fun. I'd be interested to know if the people watching think that Kendo should be fun? Because it's an interesting one, right? Do you like? We know it's hard. We know it's hard. We try and sort of learn lessons from hard training.
Right.
But should it be fun? You know, it's
probably fun can be different though, right? Like now what we think fun is more like what can I say? I think fun as in, what do you think fun as in, like, oh, kids, let's say kids, can they have fun in Kendo? You know, do this, do that. We can say that, but can we make like balloon fight? Have you seen that? Have you done that before, mate? Balloon fight. Have you?
Yeah.
Have I done that?
Yeah.
Have I?
Yeah. You showed me. It's a good question, man, because the thing is that, like, you said right at the start that you hated it. You did lots of kirikaeshi, lots of kagari geko, and it wasn't very fun. How old were you?
I started when I was 7.
Right.
And then sensei were a scary looking sensei, and then they hit you all the time. So I hated it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? It's not fun, and for the reasons that, among others, that you said, like, there's so many options for young people to use their time or spend their time, and the ideas behind harsh training, hard training, they're really adult ideas, right? We have to build character. We have to make you stronger in the face of physical and mental challenges. Those are really grown-up ideas, and I don't think that kids really care about that stuff. There was a little bit of, well, not surprisingly, there's research about why kids play sport or do martial arts or whatever the case may be. Do you know what they find? You know what the most important reason is most of the time?
What is it?
It's fun. It's enjoyment. But the key thing is that saying something's fun is not enough. We have to unpack what is fun about, or what makes fun, the experience fun. And most of the time it's things like connecting with their friends, playing with their friends, a sense of accomplishment. You know, I managed to do something, or my sensei or my coach patted me on the back and said, hey, good job, Hiro, you worked really hard today, good man. Those sorts of things, they make the experience really enjoyable. And like you were saying before, if you don't have that experience, if you don't find it fun, we're going to lose kids from the sport, or from Kendo, right? So we have to figure out ways. It's absolutely critical that we figure out ways to make Kendo fun, because if we don't, we're going to lose them more and more all around the world to different sports, or different ways. Different understandings. Fun is not the same as enjoyable. Unpack that, Tash. NZ Tasha, I think I know who you are. Unpack that for me. What is the difference? What is the difference between fun and enjoyable? At the end of the day, when we have the opportunity to play and learn, we increase our chances of getting people back into the dojo. And I think it's really important to make the distinction, or at least acknowledge, that we're not necessarily just talking about kids either. Like, adults want to enjoy the experience as well, whether or not they're social or they are competitive, right? There has to be a good balance of something that's enjoyable, working together, having our own opportunities to make our own decisions about what we do, and how many kagari geko we do today, or if we go straight into shiai to start with, all those sorts of things. It doesn't matter where we are. If we have the opportunity to feed back into the trainings that we're doing, then all of a sudden we can start to increase people's enjoyment a little bit, because they have a say, they have an opportunity to have a say in what's happening and what their experience is. And that's really important, whether you're an adult or whether you're a kid. That's really, really important that you have that sense of agency or autonomy, right?
Right. And last week, after training, with Daini Dojo, all right, drinking some great wheat juice.
Wheat juice. Sparkly brown wheat juice.
Yeah,
Sounds
sparkling.
delicious.
Oh, mate. Yeah, mate. And it was, oh, that was hard. But that was good. That was fun, you know. That people say that, oh, that was so tough. But I liked it. That was great fun, you know. So maybe we know what it is. You know, it should be hard, but that hard part is the enjoyable part as well. It's which is fun. And now kids, if we talk about kids, they don't know what's fun about Kindle, and then we say do this, do that. Oh, shut up, just do it. You know, it's not fun for them. I don't think.
No.
You know, that's the typical. I shouldn't say typical, traditional Japanese way of teaching. Do this, shut up, just do it. You know, that was how I was teaching New Zealand adults when I got to 1993. 1993. I distinctly remember it's 1993. Yeah. So that was how I was teaching. Just do it. And I wasn't speaking English at all to start off with. Go. Do this, go. 50 times, 100 times. And they go, they quit, you know.
Yeah.
They didn't see anything fun in there.
No.
So I think that is the important part. We have to show them what's fun about it. I think. What's that?
Well, that's the thing. How do we make it fun? You know what I mean? Like, so there's got to be a balance. You know, Kendo's not a tickle fight. You know, it's not a pillow fight. There are things, and Tasha's saying a hard session of Suburi can be enjoyable, but it isn't necessarily fun. Yeah, I guess what perhaps what Tasha's saying there is the same as you. At the time, it's not overly fun to do, but we can reflect afterwards and go, man, I got a good sweat. We worked really hard. There was good ki. Everybody was working, you know, doing their best. And when we reflect on that, we think, yeah, that was enjoyable. That's what I want from my training experience. And I think that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. And if you think about that, I guess at a physiological level, like when we do hard stuff, there's all sorts of chemicals that get released in our brains, right? That make us, like when we go to the Daini dojo, we go for a beer afterwards, or you're driving home afterwards, whatever, and you feel good about the hard work that you've done. It's happening at a physiological level. What we want to do for kids is start to make them understand how we can get other lessons from those hard sessions, right? And so that they start to be able to build goals around what they can do in the future. And next training, I'm going to try a little bit harder, and I'm really going to try and learn this, and the other thing, right? The thing about fun or making Kendo, JS, what is fun about Kendo?
It's different, isn't it, from person to person?
Yeah. What is fun about Kendo? I mean, yeah, I think so. I think it's definitely different from person to person. For me, it's getting to beat the crap out of people. No.
True.
That's an Alex Bennett answer. I can guarantee you that he would beat the snot out of people. What's fun about Kendo? I think what's fun about Kendo is the opportunity that it gives us to set goals and meet those goals, and push past and continue to try and grow ourselves, whether it be physically or mentally or spiritually or wherever you sit in that space, right? So what's fun about it, as Hiro says, I think that's really a personal thing. So as a teacher, or should I say as a coach or a sensei, one thing that I really try and do is ask people, what is it that you want to get out of this, right? Because when we can help people to meet those goals, then they get that sense of accomplishment. When you feel that sense of accomplishment, you've enjoyed the experience, right? Or you've potentially enhanced that sense of enjoyment. I think that's a really important thing to do. I guess the question, Hiro, is how do you make it fun? How do you make Kendo fun, right?
Right.
You said before that you the balloon thing.
Yeah. I think I tried. We tried it once. Oh, I can't hear you, mate.
You can't hear me?
Oh, now I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. The balloon thing's interesting, right? Because the balloon thing, you tie a balloon onto your men, or if you can, onto the kote, and the objective is to try and pop the balloon by getting a good ippon, right? It's the only problem with that game is that it takes ages to set it up, and it takes ages to clean up as well. Once you get an ippon, that's it. No problem. I think for kids, having friendships in the club is very important. Absolutely, 100% true. Having friendships and going to play with your mates, or at least experiencing these things together, is huge for young people. Absolutely huge. And surprise, surprise, man, it's not about winning. A lot of young people that have been surveyed on this, they don't put winning at the top, even in the top 10 of why they participate in sport. Winning isn't everybody loves to win, that's fine, but it's not necessarily the highest sort of goal for young people in any sport, for that matter, according to the research, right? But I had an idea, right? Like, how can you make Kendo fun? How can you make it fun? And the thing is, like, I've talked a little bit in this session, but also in other sessions, about structuring training so that you can say to your training partners, this is what I'm working on today. Can you give me feedback directly on this thing, right? And structuring the training in little groups, little clusters, where cluster is not the right word during a global pandemic, is it? I shouldn't say cluster. I shouldn't use that word. Little groups. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to cause any offense. So little groups, right? And then you say, like, today I'm working on my debana kote. Can you please help me or give me feedback on that? So the things that I'm doing is not just menuchi 5 times, kote uchi 5 times, do uchi 5 times, because that, for me personally, is really not fun. That's boring. But as we say in that, we were writing up the description for Kendo Clinic, it's a pretty typical way to train anywhere you go in the world, right? You start off with kirikaishi, you go on to kihon 5 times, 5 times, 5 times, 5 times, kotai, 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 and then you do jigeko at the end. And believe it or not, like, jigeko is the funnest part of Kendo, man. That's the bit that we love, right? That's the bit that keeps people coming back 20 years, 30 years, 40 years later. They enjoy doing the jigeko bit. So why can't we put more jigeko into our trainings? And in the physical education research, there's a concept called teaching games for understanding, right? TGFU. And basically what it does is it starts the lesson, the PE lesson at school, with the game or a modified version of the game, right? So take out certain rules, or make the playing space a little bit smaller, or change the amount of time on the clock, or how many points you have to score, whatever it is. You change a few things to make it easier to manage, and kids play that game, a version of that game. And that gives you an opportunity in order to start to teach the techniques or the waza or whatever it is that's necessary in the context of the game, right? In the moment of the game. So if we were to use jigeko as a, this is for you, Kai. This is a good description for you. How do I make coaching fun for my students and myself? So my suggestion would be to take jigeko right from the start, right? So do your warm up, do your stretches. That's important. But go straight into jigeko. And if we can modify little things, so we can say, for example, you can make it like a shiai. Okay, so red team, you've got 2 points on the board. White team, you need to get 3 points in order to get through, or whatever it is. We could just do it straight up in jigeko. We do that jigeko session, and the coach takes the opportunity, or the training partner takes the opportunity to say, hey, here's an opportunity for us to fine-tune our waza here, our debana kote, or our kaishi do. And one of the things, and Kai will know this because Kai was part of one of these trainings, was to actually, this is a really cool way to do it, I found. I don't know about you, Kai. I don't care. No, I do. is what we would do is once a point was scored in this little jigeko session or this little mini shiai, we would push pause. Physically, we would use our imaginary remotes like this, click, press pause, and we would replay that moment. So Kai hits my debana kote. I always go with debana kote as an example. Kai hits my debana kote, and we go, okay, ippon scored, push pause, rewind. How did we get into that situation? Right. Well, what it means is that I was lifting my hands up like this and gave Kai a really clean opportunity to strike kote. All right. So if we were to replay that, how would I execute my attempt at menuchi without lifting up and opening up for debana kote? And the point is that we try and use that moment to learn what the best way to approach a men strike is, rather than going 8 menuchi 5 times. Yeah, man, kotai, right? We're learning about that in the context of the game. I've run out of time, Hiro. I can't hear you.
Now you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I thought I muted before, but probably I didn't. We hit the time. So just one question. Now I was thinking, you go jigeko, maybe jigeko first, and then we can work on, I did this, I did that in jigeko, and maybe 30-minute jigeko, and then after that, kihon practice, reverse, and then they can work on whatever they didn't do right.
Yeah, basically, you can do that. That's absolutely right. So you do the jigeko for 2 or 3 minutes, then you do kihon. Think about what you're working on and then go back into the jigeko. The description that I was giving just now was actually doing it in the moment. So push pause. I just lost an ippon. Right. How did that happen? Well, I need to work on my menuchi and keeping my kensen low. Okay, well, we're going to do that 3 times, and then we're going to go straight back into the jigeko with this person. So absolutely, you can mix that up anyway. But it means that we move away from the same old stuff of kihon, 5 times kote, 5 times kote, and so on, which is really important to increase fun, right?
Yeah, Kai, mate, you have a really distinctive logo, so I have to pick you. You cheeky bugger.
Good old Kai, yeah. Die hard. Have you got a tattoo of it though? That's what I want to know.
What?
No, doesn't matter. I got a tattoo that looks just like that. Remember? Doesn't matter. Die hard, man.
I have to talk to you after that.
Thanks for having me, Hiro. Subscribe.
Thank you. Kendo Clinic. And a lot of you asked questions, and Ron has said, hey, hi, it's Eli actually. How's it going?
Eli.
Thank you guys. And I know a lot of people commented, and I'm sorry that I couldn't read your comments. Good morning from Malaysia. Sumeri, popping sound, I think. Is that popping sound? Yeah. I think it's my specialty.
Yeah, that's you, man.
Yeah. I will answer your question somehow. Darwin, he. All right. And then Kai, I think. Yes, thank you for coming, guys. And yes, and we have, like Blake said, we have a Facebook page, Kendo Clinic, and also Kendo Clinic YouTube channel. Subscribe.
What are we doing? What is Kendo Clinic? What is it? Tell the good people what it is.
Go, Blake. You do it.
Kendo Clinic. Hiro and I are both Renshi Rokudan. We have a combined experience of training and teaching Kendo of many, many decades. And we think that we might be able to help some people out there to be able to achieve their goals, right? Something that that's pressing them that they need to achieve, whether it be a grading related thing or a Shio related thing or whatever. My expertise are in research. So I'm a sport coach. I have a doctorate in sport coaching. Hiro's just extremely good looking. But together we can we can try and help you, right? So what we want to do is we want to get your questions specifically about Kendo or the challenges that you have. We're going to do live chats like this every week, and we're going to work towards a webinar, and then ultimately see if we can help people on an individual basis as well to work through their goals. So subscribe, tell your friends about it, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for coming again. Right, you can forget about us at the moment. You just go and subscribe to those channels, and we will see you next week. Right? Yeah, and we're gonna again. Once you subscribe on Facebook, you leave questions there. Okay, whatever the questions, like basically coaching questions, and how can I do this, how can I do that, that is also good as well. That gives us something to talk about, ideas to talk about, and popping sound, things like that, probably that's me. So I can give you some advice too. And yeah, my expertise maybe is I've been thinking about how to teach adults for years and years. I think that's my expertise. If I have to say, I don't have any PhD in that, but I've been instructing adults for the last forever, 30 years, I think. And so, yeah, your problem I have encountered, so I have solution. You see, so I've seen a lot of people. Kids problem, I've never seen those. I gotta help you with it. But I didn't teach kids enough. So yeah, so yes,
our powers combined, Hiro.
Yeah, man. You guys will be in good hands.
Okay, let them go. We'll see you later.
Thank you. I'll see you next week, guys. Yes, bye.
Bye.